my name is Mandy. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to take a look at my propagation boxes that I started in November, and I haven't opened them, looked at them, checked on them at all since then. And if you want to know why, if you're interested, stick around to the end and I will give a little mini life update. And if you're just here for plants, let's get into it. Okay, so as you can see, this one has been doing things. So we are going to open it and see. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I think I messed up a bit because there's a lot of growth going on, but I also see a lot of mold. So I think if I Google, it's gonna tell me that you shouldn't leave it closed this long, because as you can see, these are all moldy. But there is a lot of growth, so I wonder if I can save this. Let me just kind of do a little digging and see if there's roots on these. Oh yeah, definitely roots. Yeah, they're actually all pretty rooted. Oh, it's the roots that are on this one that are moldy. Oh. Okay, well, we'll try that. The ones that are underground look not too bad. So you know what? I might do some Googling and see if I can save this, but I'm definitely gonna leave this lid off. Okay, note to self, don't leave it closed for a month and a half. Okay. Actually, it's probably 2 months at this point. We're pretty close to 2 months. Okay, note to self, propagation boxes. Don't just ignore them for 2 months. Okay, so that's the first one. That was my Cebu Blue Pothos. Let's try, oh, by the way, for like a little mini update, here is the plant that I saved. And I kind of thought, I was like, oh, that's definitely gonna live still. And it's doing wonderful. Very happy with that. Okay, let's open the other one, which looks even greener. Okay. Not as much maybe plant or like leaves in this one. Let's see. Ooh, yeah, again, smells musty. Okay. So, again, we do have new growth. Okay, so as we can see, these are right moldy. But there is a lot of plants. Oh, this one's growing leaves, but there's no roots. So something like this, I don't think will survive because it does have leaves, but there's no root growing out of it. It looks like possibly it did grow root, whoop, and then it rotted. So you win some, you lose some. But again, the mother plant did live, so this is kind of all just extra. But something like this, I genuinely think will probably live. So that's exciting. They do all seem to have roots other than that one. They do all seem to have nice roots on them, other than maybe that one stick. Because they're all pretty in there. That's actually not bad. This one, who knows with this one? Because it does have, so this one does have a little root, and it does look like it's trying to push something out over here, but I don't know if that one will make it. If I'm honest, that's better than I expected for completely ignoring those things for 2 months. And then in here, I did prop a satin pothos and my white wizard philodendron. So the white wizard, oh, again, we're getting a little bit of mold on the roots, but they are growing roots. Oh, this one's really moldy. Okay, I gotta get that one out. So the satin, so the little pieces of the satin pothos, and honestly, the plant is fine. I just had a really long runner with no leaves. So I was like, oh, I'll try those. But they don't seem to really be doing anything, which is fine because I still have the whole mother plant. I just kind of figured for, giggles. Oh, that one actually looks like it might do something. I just kind of figured for giggles I would try that one too. And this is my white wizard philodendron. It kind of, I'm having another pest outbreak and he was kind of a victim. So I did cut him into just little nodes along the stem and I am getting roots. And this one, oh, look at all the mold on it though. Okay, so I don't know what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to Google how to take care of the mold on these. But, actually this one's getting a leaf. Oh, I don't know if you can see. Hang on, let's see if I can turn it. I am getting a little leaf. Oh, right there. A little baby leaf growing right here. But no roots. Whereas these ones are getting roots, but no leaves. So we'll see how that goes. Well, you win some, you lose some. I'll be honest, I was a lot happier with the white princess than the white wizard anyway, especially the one I had. It could just be my specimen thing, but I really wasn't that worried about him, but I figured might as well put these in. So I'm gonna have to Google how to get rid of all that mold. Okay, so that's not bad. Like, this is actually a lot of little baby plants, and I think that if I can take care of the mold, that they'll actually all, I think I've got like 1, 2, 3, 7, like 8 or 12 plants in here. So I might start those getting bigger and see if I can maybe start giving those away, because that would be awesome. Okay, and for those of you who are here for a propagation box update, that is the update. I will continue to keep you guys updated on what I find and how I can try and fix that. But other than that, I'm actually really thrilled with how the prop boxes did. Not so much the satin pothos, but I don't even know if you can propagate those in a box, so I might have to look into that further now that I'm finding that it's not working as well as the Cebu Blue. Okay, and that's my prop box update, so thank you for those of you who have joined me for seeing what happened with them. I will again keep you guys updated further. I want to do a little bit more research into them and find out what I did wrong, how I can maybe save all these plants, and I'll go from there. But yes, I'll of course keep you updated on how they're doing. And thank you so much for being here with me today, and thank you. And for those who care about a mini life update, we're going to get into that right now. Trigger warning for pet loss. So at the end of November, things kind of went south. And the 14-year-old dog has had recurrent pancreatitis about every 6 months for the last couple years. And she had another flare-up. Or so I thought. Bring her into the vet after a lot of testing. They kind of said like they don't think it's pancreatitis. They actually think it might be something to do with her liver. And that's throwing the pancreas off. So long story short, we get her on meds. They're not working. I get her on more meds. It does seem to be looking better. And then the 16-year-old got sick. So I think that whatever it was this time was transmittable. And so I brought her to the vet, and the vet told me after doing an exam and after talking with me, she said, Mandy, this is treatable. She said, but she's old, and with the exam I did on her body, And the things you've been telling me that have been going on for the last 6 months, she said, it might be kinder to let her rest. And I realized that if I kept her going at this point with the condition she was in, it was for me, not her. So I had to make the hard decision to let her go. And I was actually really worried about the 14-year-old, because when I first got her and she was alone, she was a drywall eating super freak. Like, the only reason we ended up with Penny was because she had such severe separation anxiety. So I was actually kind of worried that if anything happened to Penny, that Casey would go nuts. And she was actually doing really, really well. For 5 days, she was doing wonderful. I was taking her on lots of walks. She was in good spirits. She seemed to be thriving. And then 5 days after I lost Penny, Casey had a stroke, or a senior dog vestibular event. Either way, she couldn't walk, she couldn't stand, she couldn't eat or drink. The vet was leaning towards stroke just because she didn't have the eye twitch that usually accompanies a vestibular event. And so they told me that there was really nothing they could do. We could either throw the kitchen sink at diagnostics and maybe never find out what happened, or we could just understand that this could either heal or it could be permanent. So I brought her home, and for 5 days we fought, and it seemed like she was actually improving. She was starting to walk, even though she was unsteady, and she was starting to eat and drink, and she was falling over a lot, but she was actually walking. I still had to carry her up and down the stairs, which is hard because she's still 50 pounds. She wasn't a small dog, but she wasn't a large dog either, which is lucky, because if she was 100 pounds, I couldn't have lifted her up and down the stairs by myself. So I was starting to really feel good about her progress, and then something else happened, and brought her into the vet again, and after describing everything that was going on and they examining her, they decided that it was probably a GI bleed or something else that was really wrong. Stomach cancer, something. And I was all set to do x-rays and an ultrasound to try and find out what it was. And then I called back to the vet and I said, am I crazy for doing all this? Because all the things that you listed off as being possible, none of them sounded treatable. And she said, I'm not gonna lie to you, Mandy. She said, this doesn't have a happy ending. She said, the things that are happening to her. So I honestly don't really remember that conversation. I just remember her using words like catastrophic. And so I had to make the hard decision to let her go too. So I lost both dogs 2 weeks of each other to the day. And so I'm not gonna lie, plants were kind of at the end of the barrel. They were, I lost Penny December 1st and Casey December 14th, and I still had to try and scrounge together a Christmas for the kids, even though I was not feeling in the Christmas spirit. So, I don't know who needs to hear this, but just because you love your plants doesn't mean that sometimes they take a back seat. And yes, I did lose a couple plants, especially ones that were very important to me, that were favorites, but I can repurchase those down the road. So yes, my plant collection definitely took a back seat, and I really couldn't even concentrate on plants other than to, at the bare minimum, just trying to do some water in place to keep everything alive as much as I could. So getting back into it, I'm in a better place now. I've had some time to kind of to grieve and heal, and it's still really tough, not gonna lie. I had them for 13 years and they got me through a lot of dark days, and I knew Penny was getting older, but I did not see myself being completely dogless immediately. So it's been really hard, but I am back and I'm excited to try and rehab some plants and try and get going again. So I truly love plants, and they are one of my happy places, and so I'm excited to kind of dive back in. So yeah, thank you so much for anyone who stuck it out to the end. And I know that a lot of people have gone through something similar to this. There's a lot of stories of people who lose dogs together, even with a bigger age gap. Like, they were 14 and 16, but I've heard stories of people saying like they've had a 14-year-old, and when the 14-year-old died, the 7-year-old passed away right after. And I just think it's probably a lot to do with just the sheer bonding that happens when they're together every day for so long. So again, thank you to those of you who have stuck around to the end, and here's to many more.